really care, pussy nigga, write a letter. Ryan solo when I'm still in the group.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Nikki Reacts TV and welcome back to another reaction video. So I hope you guys enjoyed your great Easter Sunday. What me and my family did. I'm sure everyone went to church. We went to church. We went to brunch after, and then later in the evening we had dinner at home. So listen, I posted on my community wall that I was taking my grandbaby, my little glam daughter, to her very first church service, and I asked y'all to pray for us. Pray for us, child, because she just turned 2 and these terrible 2s are in full effect. Okay? Full effect. So let me just say that the prayer was definitely needed. It started off a little shaky. You know, we walked in the church, the music, the singing, loud, joyful, beautiful. But for her, it was anything but that. It was a lot. She immediately burst into tears. You know, we're barely 5 steps in, and she was already over it and overwhelmed. Then 20 minutes in, she decided she wanted to play musical chairs, you know, switching seats from Gigi, which is me, from Gigi to Pop Pop, then to Mama, then to Uncle, you know, back and forth, like we were on some type of ride. And then she starts kicking the pew in front of us repeatedly. I know the man in front was losing his patience, but whatever, child. Then she wanted to stand, then sit, then stand again, just all over the place. So finally, my daughter gets up. She picks her up. She takes her outside to kind of regroup and let her calm down a little bit. As she's walking out of the church, she's looking at me, yelling at the top of her lungs, Gigi, Gigi. That's how she sounds. Gigi, Gigi. I hear that all day in my house, right? So everybody turns around. They're looking at her like, oh, she's so cute. No, guys, it's not cute. It was embarrassing. So eventually, you know, she brings her back. She got adjusted. Starts clapping, starts getting into the music. You know, she was trying. I will say she was trying. But at the end of it, I just handed her my phone, put on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, on mute, of course, and that was the key to peace. So next church trip, definitely noise canceling headphones and her tablet for sure. But hey, we made it through. We created a great first memory, and it was definitely a teachable moment. And before we get into this content, I forgot to share. So when the service was over and we're walking out of the church, everyone is like saying, oh, she's so beautiful. She's so pretty. Look at her little clothes. Look at her outfit. You know, they're giving her so many compliments, and she's very reserved to strangers. So she was hugging me. You know, she's like super tight because I think that was becoming a bit overwhelming too. But when I put her down as we're walking out, I seen the pastor and his wife and his family. You know, we're all saying our goodbyes and our hellos because we haven't seen them in a while. So we were chit-chatting with them. This baby, okay, she immediately runs to the pastor and starts hugging his leg really, really tight. And he's looking at us like, you know why she's doing that. And I'm like, she's so reserved. I can't believe she immediately just went up to you like that. So I strongly believe that it was just, you know, the spirit of being in the church, because, you know, they say baby sees angels and spirits, and she really felt that connection, I believe, with him. And I thought that was just a beautiful moment. So I'm really looking forward to her next church visit. So again, guys, you can continue to keep us in prayer, but I just wanted to share that cute little beautiful moment. But anyways, let's get to the content, all right? Because that's, of course, what y'all here for, right? Yeah, of course, y'all here for that. Because, you know, we love trauma in this sector. So let's get to it. So on a different note, let's get into the content. So, you know, I just wanted to chit-chat for a minute about what's been going on in this little corner of the internet. You know, the doxing, the harassment, the constant mess. You know, we know it's wild, right? And the wild part, it's not teenagers. It's not anonymous trolls. It's these grown women with so-called full lives, families, choosing to act like this publicly. It's embarrassing. And what's even more frustrating, or not frustrating, but what's even more funny is the hypocrisy. So many people are throwing stones that live in a glass house, talking about someone's health when you yourself are dealing with chronic health conditions. You're not in great shape either, yet you're online laughing at someone else's pain while you're sitting over there on multiple medications yourself. That's not content. That's deflection. Okay? And let's talk about the middle school name calling. Like, that's corny. It's corny. It's immature. The immature nicknames, like coming out of the mouths of women who are 30, 40, 50 plus. And the pocket watching. Half the women in the sector aren't even working. Let's just pause right there for a minute. Half the women in this sector do not have jobs. No business. But somehow got all the time in the world to count someone else's income and worry about it. The audacity. That's why the drama feels so desperate. It's like it's survival. YouTube has really become the paycheck. And don't get me wrong, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So let me be very clear. There's nothing wrong with getting a YouTube check. Some creators are really doing it for themselves. They built actual businesses, real platforms, and they're creating content that actually adds value. There are people that are living super comfortable because of a YouTube check. Now, I'm not saying that the creators out here don't have real platforms, but their content, it lacks value. You know what I mean? And then you got the other side. You got the people who are so desperate for income that they start digging in the gutter. They realize that if I stir up this drama, if I say the craziest ish, I'm going to get attention. I'm going to get clicks. I'm going to get a few coins. And okay, you probably will. But is it enough to actually sustain a lifestyle long term? Or are you just doing whatever you can to cling to the one you used to have? Like, I don't know. But what I do know is that when the money becomes the motivator and you don't have any boundaries, that's when it gets dangerous in the sector. Like, people really, really be crossing the lines and messing with people's lives and livelihoods and families. Like, some lines you just don't cross, because once you do, you cannot uncross because that shock value is a mother. But if you want to shock us for real, shock us by logging off. Shock us by deading the whole situation. Like, shock us by investing in your health. Shock us by investing in your wealth. Like, keep that same energy that you throw at others and put it back into your own life. Like, the internet is such a weird place right now, but you do got some content creators that I will give credit to, that they do know how to argue and go back and forth and just keep it at that without adding all the extra sauce like some of these weirdos on here. And I can say that's what's up. Because these ladies are intelligent, mature. They know what they're doing. They know how to use their words in the manner that they should. You know what I mean? And they know how not to use them as well. But a lot of these women, in my opinion, are just genuinely unhappy and just looking for something, anything to give them some kind of power or attention or validation. And it may work for a while, but the supporters are eating it up. These supporters are eating it up and they keep that fire going. But what they don't realize is that they're watching someone crash out in real time. And it's a slow crash. Like, I don't understand some of these women that got men around them, like husbands, boyfriends, whatever. Like, these ninjas are watching y'all crash out like that online. My husband would never. He would never let me sit in my house for hours screaming into my phone to people that I don't know, to strangers. That's weird as hell. That's not weird to y'all? Or is that just me? Because that's some weirdo behavior. So yeah, I don't get it. But I don't think these women are truly happy in their lives. That they can't be, but they're wasting it on this never-ending cycle of who can be the loudest, the meanest, the most unbothered. And at this point, child, it's just so exhausting to watch. Y'all need to find something else to do or get somebody else to do it. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you think about this video. Comment down below. And as always, hit that like button and run it up. Hey! Shout out to Sharita. All right. Anyways, guys, leave your comments down below. That's where you will find me at the end of this video. Let's get the conversation started. And as always, I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.